Welcome back. The two names, Mary Travers, Henry Gibson. Forgive me for forgetting the last segment. I grew up with Henry Gibson and Laugh-In. And then later on, as I grew more into being a trekker and stuff like that, I learned that Laugh-In replaced Star Trek when it got canceled. So it kind of pissed me off. But I still liked Ronan Martin's Laugh-In. And Goldie Hawn. And man, Goldie Hawn was smoking. Jesus, Joanne Worley, woohoo! Remember her? And then Mary Travers with Peter Paul and Mary. If I had a hammer in the morning. And Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea. That was good too. Good memories. Hope when I get Alzheimer's I never forget those. I have a rather, well, rich for me. It's a punch. It's a little one. I'm going to smoke it. My first cigar back on YouTube since the palsy. And you can see very little bit of it. See, I can wink now, and very happy. Thank God for the steroids I took and the vitamin B12. I really factor those two in. That helped get me better. And understand my friend Nikki in Alaska, she's doing better. And rest well. And you know, I've been hearing from Canadians, from guys in UK, and people in Australia. I want to hear from people in, more people in Europe, Germany. I want to hear from people in Japan, and China, Canadians. I want to hear more. I want to hear from more Canadians, and because we got them all over the country, all over the U.S. I got viewers, but I want to hear more from the rest of the world. I know there's problems with China, so some of the internet's blocked for them down there, over there. So I hope they can clear that up eventually. I don't know, keep protesting. It didn't work for us. So, anyway, I'm going to take the band off of this because the thing's slippery anyway. And let's go light this puppy. It's a dark one. But you know, I've been pumped up with Coke all day today. Soda. This is a good cigar. This thing cost me about $5.25. I don't know. Is that par for the course for a punch this size? Helen Blind, let me know. I wish I owned a cigar shop. See, I still can't blowing out air wants to escape. Punch it right now. Blowing out the impurities. And I do it twice, to be sure. As I learned from Doc Stokey Fresh. Blow out more impurities, and now we go ahead. Hoorah! I want to talk about cigars. Twice I have gotten comments about how happy people are that me and other people are trying to bring back the fashionable respect of cigars. And I am very honored to be part of that gateway of the 21st century to bring back what cigars used to be over 150 years ago. We are talking about the way cigars were actually meant to be smoked. Was meant to be an extremely enriching moment. The real height of cigar smoking, of fashionable cigar smoking, was the late 19th century, where after a dinner, gentlemen, scholars, aristocrats would leave the dining area into the den or smoking room and they would take their cigars or pipes and they would talk about what? They would talk about worldly affairs, money, politics, war most likely, items of business, and we have lost that fashion, and I primarily blame it on oh goodness, you know, I don't remember a lot of cigar stuff going on in the 60s and the 50s of the last century. So it had to end it somewhere around the 40s. And of course cigarettes really picked up. Big time then. I mean, television ads, radio ads, the actors. I will bring it up, and I'm going to write it down, but there was even a cigar ad, and they used to slip them into the program. So you'd see the actors doing their actor things in their character, and say, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm smoking this Lucky Strike. So cool and refreshing." There is one, I don't know whether I should tell you now and then just surprise you next week. I want to surprise you. You wouldn't believe this ad. It's funny. And you just wouldn't believe today that stuff was going on back then. And we're talking the 60s. So the cigarette thing really took over cigar smoking, and then it just kind of like disappeared. And then in the 80s and the 70s came the Swisher Sweets, Philly Blunts, and they were totally disrespected. That's when cigars went downhill to me, is in the 70s. It was just out of control then, with everything that was going on. I guess men of power and stuff like that. And then you couldn't even smoke in the office buildings. So that ended pretty much that. So we're limited to this. So to guys like me, Howlin' Blind, Stogie Fresh, or whatever, this is our smoking den. And we invite you, gentleman or lady, into our smoking den, and we discuss items of the world. And that's what it's all about. So when I changed my format, I was actually doing Cigars a favor.